Hello, my friends. Deborah Roth here from Spirited Living. And here on this, in the aftermath of this enormous snowstorm in New York City, so I'm feeling a little buzzy because snow affects me that way. And I'm bringing you yet another fascinating Tibetan goddess. This is the second one. My last Inner Goddess Team video was a Tibetan Buddhist goddess. This one is a Tibetan Bon goddess. And the Bon religion in the Tibetan tradition actually predates Buddhism. And so this is another kind of mother of all, like Yeshe Tsogyal, if I'm remembering her name correctly, she was in the Buddhist tradition that actually came after. So this beautiful goddess is Sherab Chamma, and her name literally translates into loving mother of wisdom. So Chamma is loving mother, wisdom is Sherab. And she just embodies, I think, the power and strength of the divine feminine, which frankly all of these entities, all of these deities that I've been offering up to you over the last 5+ years, 5.5 years, really embody love, compassion, honoring our wisdom, honoring our connection to nature, to our bodies. That's the definition for me of the qualities, the very sacred qualities of the divine feminine. And I discovered her, I can't remember whether I mentioned this last week, but I actually, full disclosure, tapped into ChatGPT because I've done so many goddesses, over 200 over the last many years, and thought, okay, I've done a lot of the biggies, so if there are any that I haven't done, please let me know. And I got a whole list of wonderful ones, including this one. Chat didn't, made a few mistakes naming things that were goddesses that weren't actually, and that kind of thing. But it's given me a whole new lease on things to play with, on goddesses to play with. So this one, she's honored on a daily basis in daily meditation to really invoke her for when you want to, when you have an illness that you want to cure, or move through obstacles, or just deepen your spiritual practice, and obviously your because she's a goddess of compassion, your connection to your own compassionate nature. But she's also particularly honored on big lunar festivals, especially the full moon, which I'm feeling very in touch with. It's still a week away, a little less than a week away. But I've been working on my monthly newsletter that I send a couple days before the full moon, and I've been very immersed in that energy that the full moon represents. The one coming up is actually with the moon in Leo, and the sun is in Aquarius. So really looking at how we bring our individual selves and our unique gifts and our creativity to serve humanity, to make a difference in the world, which is happening so much, and that's what I'm writing about in that newsletter. You can always check out, you can always go to my website, which is somewhere on my Facebook page, I think, but also on my YouTube channel when this gets posted up there, typically on Thursdays. So back to beautiful Sherab Chamma. She was one of the 4 major deities in the Bon tradition, and she was the only female, and she was considered the counterpart of the main, of the principal of the 4 principles, whose name, and I'm not even going to tell you all of them because I don't want to massacre their names, of Shenlha Ödkar. And her body is also considered what's called Dzog Ku, and it's the body of perfection. She's available, it's considered that she's available to anyone who needs comfort and guidance and healing, since she has the power to dispel obstacles, which I talked about a minute ago. She's typically depicted, I've got one image of her. It's a little hard to see these particular features, but she's typically, it's why I have my yellow on, typically depicted wearing white or yellow, kind of the colors of brightness and purity. And holding a mirror in her left hand, So this would be this hand over here, if you can make it out, which represents pure, empty awareness, which I love. And a vase in her right hand, and the opposite hand over here, which represents the fulfillment of hopes and dreams of all who practice this religion and who look to come to her to be healed. Her throne is supported by two snow lions representing her supremacy over all of life. So I didn't really find mythology, so to speak, for the Tibetan for Yeshe Tsogyal, who I highlighted last week. I didn't really find mythology or stories around them, and I would so love if someone has more of an understanding and a knowledge of some of these Tibetan goddesses, whether from the Bon tradition or from Buddhism, to know more about their origin stories, that kind of thing. I do know, let's see, is there anything else I want to tell you about her? She one of the ways to honor her is through mantras, and to do these daily mantras, to open yourself up to her loving compassion, to her really ability to dispel sadness and any negativity around you. And I've heard different versions of this. You can go on YouTube and find yourself of this particular mantra. Om Mawa Mate Mahi Moha E Maho Mayi Rupa Yeta Du Soha. So lots of those syllables, each one that has a different meaning. And one of the things that I read is that, yes, reading it and listening to it are a way to really deepen your connection, your spirit in the spiritual practice of singing mantras, to connect with deities. But writing it out, apparently, and to in this tradition, to actually write out the mantra, which I will include on my YouTube description when that goes up, to write out the mantra, and one of the things that they do is to put it in a prayer wheel, which just deepens the practice even more. So if Sherab Chamma fascinates you, then do look further. If you have more information about her and some of these other really powerful female deities from the Tibetan tradition, I would love to hear. In the meantime, stay warm if you're in the northern hemisphere. This was an all continent-wide, just about, I think, snowstorm. Stay warm and safe, and I'll see you back here. Not sure when that's going to be, but have a beautiful few weeks. Bye for now.